Hello and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Before we take you through the headlines of the day, I, on behalf of Rajya Sabha TV, appeal to all our viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing each time you step outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. And now over to the big stories of the day. Andolan GVs have taken over farmers' protest. Prime Minister Modi replies to the discussion on the motion of thanks to the President's address in the Lok Sabha, asserts that the government is ready to address any lacunae in the agricultural reform laws, reiterates there's been no tampering with MSP or Mandi systems. Lok Sabha passes motion of thanks to the President's address. Prime Minister Modi says President's speech showcased India's Sankalp Shakti. Also lists steps taken by the government to manage the COVID pandemic. Rajya Sabha passes the Major Ports Authority Bill 2020, already passed by the Lok Sabha. The bill provides for autonomy to bigger ports of the country. Congress MP Kapil Sibal initiates discussion on the general budget in Rajya Sabha. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to reply on the last day of the discussion. And at World Sustainable Development Summit, Prime Minister Modi highlights the need for climate justice to combat climate change, says India on track to achieve the Paris Agreement goals. And beginning with news from Parliament, the Lok Sabha on Wednesday passed by a voice vote the motion to thank the President for his address to both houses of Parliament. Earlier, replying to the discussion on the motion of thanks, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the issue of the 3 farm laws. He said the agriculture sector will not be strong if investment and new technologies are not brought. He also appealed to the farmers to come to the talking table so that a solution can be found.
कलर पर तो बहुत बहस कर रहे हैं, ब्लैक है कि वाइट है, ब्लैक है कि वाइट है। अच्छा होता उसके कंटेंट पर चर्चा करते, अच्छा होता उसके इंटेंट पर चर्चा करते, ताकि देश के किसानों को भी सही चीज पहुंच सकती थी। और हम मानते हैं कि अगर इसमें कोई कमी हो और सचमुच में किसान का नुकसान करते, उसमें बदल करने में क्या जाता है जी। ये देशवासियों के लिए है। अगर कोई निर्णय करते हैं तो किसानों के लिए है। लेकिन हम इंतजार करते हैं, अभी भी हम इंतजार करते हैं कि वो अगर कोई चीज स्पेसिफिक बताते हैं और अगर वो कन्विंसिंग है तो हमें कोई संकोच नहीं है। और इसलिए हमें इस बात को करना चाहिए।
Farm laws, the Prime Minister said, neither any agriculture mandi has shut down after the 3 laws were enacted, nor has the MSP stopped. Rather, the MSP has only increased, which no one can deny.
पहले जो हक उनके पास थे, जो व्यवस्थाएं उनके पास थी, भारतवासियों ने उसमें से कुछ भी इस नए कानून ने छीन लिया है क्या? इसकी चर्चा, उसका जवाब कोई देता नहीं है। सब कुछ वैसा का वैसा वो है पुराना। क्या हुआ है? एक अतिरिक्त विकल्प व्यवस्था मिली है, वो भी क्या कंपलसरी है? किसी कानून का विरोध तो तब मायना रखता है कि जब वो कंपलसरी हो। ये तो ऑप्शनल है। आपको मर्जी पड़े यहां जाना है जाइए, आपको मर्जी पड़े वहां नहीं जाना है वहां जाइए।
The Prime Minister accused the Congress party of misleading the farmers and called it a divided party which cannot think about the well-being of the farmers.
आंदोलनकारी जो होते हैं वो ऐसे तरीके नहीं अपनाते, आंदोलनजीवी होते हैं वो ऐसे तरीके अपनाते हैं और वो कहते हैं ऐसा हुआ तो ऐसा होगा, ऐसा होगा तो ऐसा होगा, ऐसा होगा तो ऐसा होगा। अरे भाई, जो कुछ हुआ ही नहीं, जो होना नहीं है, उसका भय पैदा कर करके और पिछले कई सालों से लगातार सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एक जजमेंट आ जाए, कोई निर्णय नहीं हुआ है और एकदम से तूफान खड़ा कर दिया जाए, आग लगा दी जाए देश में। ये जो तौर तरीके हैं, उन तौर तरीके जो भी लोकतंत्र में विश्वास करते हैं, जो भी अहिंसा में विश्वास करते हैं, उन सबके लिए चिंता का विषय होना चाहिए। ये सरकार की चिंता का नहीं, देश की चिंता का विषय होना चाहिए।
The Prime Minister also said that the central government and the Parliament have great respect for the farmers who are voicing their views on the 3 farm laws.
जब आंदोलनजीवी पवित्र आंदोलन को अपने लाभ के लिए बर्बाद करने के लिए निकलते हैं, तब क्या होता है? कोई मुझे बताए। 3 किसान कानून की बात हो और दंगाबाज लोग जो जेल में हैं, जो संप्रदायवादी लोग जो जेल में हैं, जो आतंकवादी लोग जेल में हैं, जो नक्सलवादी जेल में हैं, उनकी फोटो लेकर के उनकी मुक्ति की मांग करना, ये किसानों के आंदोलन को अपवित्र करने का प्रयास है कि नहीं?
He asserted that India has to be self-reliant to cement her place in the new world order that will emerge post-pandemic. India, the Prime Minister said, is at a turning point owing to her handling of the coronavirus crisis and the global community's awareness about it.
नए वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर में भारत को अपनी जगह बनाने के लिए भारत को सशक्त होना पड़ेगा, समर्थ होना पड़ेगा और उसका रास्ता है आत्मनिर्भर भारत। आज फार्मेसी में हम आत्मनिर्भर हैं, हम दुनिया के कल्याण के काम आते हैं। भारत जितना आत्मनिर्भर बनेगा और जिसकी रगों में सर्वे सुखिनः भवन्तु का मंत्र जड़ा हुआ है, वो जितना सामर्थ्यवान होगा, मानव जात के कल्याण के लिए, विश्व के कल्याण के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी भूमिका अदा कर सकेगा।
The Major Port Authorities Bill 2020 was passed by the Upper House on Wednesday with 84 votes in favor and 44 against it. The bill aims to provide for regulation, operation and planning of 12 major ports in the country and to vest the administration, control and management of such ports upon the boards of major port authorities. Replying to the discussion, Shipping Minister Mansukh Mandavia said that the bill will make the major ports in the country more autonomous and also help the ports develop world-class infrastructure as well as enhance transparency in their functioning.
हमने ये पोर्ट अथॉरिटी बिल में ये प्रावधान लेके आए हैं, जैसे पोर्ट स्वायत्त बने, पोर्ट अपने डिसीजन स्वयं को ले सके। एक यहाँ कई माननीय सदस्यों ने बताया कि 10-10 किलोमीटर में पोर्ट बन गए हैं। एक प्राइवेट पोर्ट ने अपना टैरिफ कम कर दिया और मेरे मेजर पोर्ट है उसमें टैरिफ ज़्यादा है और उसको उसकी कंपैरिजन करनी है या तो कम करना है तो उसको मेरे पास मंत्री तक आना पड़ता है। वो मिनिस्टर तक ना आए और स्वयं वहाँ डिसीजन ले ले और टैरिफ कम करके उसके साथ कंपटीशन करे और कंपटीशन करके वो टिक पाए। ये बिल में हमने प्रावधान किया है और आकाश उसमें कोई जगह पे टूट नहीं पड़ा है
कि आप इसको फिर से ड्राफ्ट करने के लिए भेजिए। भले ही पहले लोकसभा भंग होने से कमेटी के पास गया हुआ कानून जो गया था उसकी सिफारिशें आपने नहीं मानी हो, आज उसको देख लीजिए, फिर से ड्राफ्ट ठीक कीजिए। फ्रंट डोर, बैक डोर, विंडो कहीं से भी प्राइवेट आदमी घुसे इसकी बहुत संभावना है, इसको बंद कीजिए।
मैं मानता हूं एक मेजर पोर्ट का डेवलपमेंट होना बहुत जरूरी है और आंध्र प्रदेश जैसा राज्य जो सही माने में आज विभाजन होने के बाद जो कठिन समय से गुजर रहा है उसके ऊपर भी उसका एक बहुत बड़ा पॉजिटिव इंपैक्ट आएगा। वहां पे लोगों को एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिलेगी और पोर्ट के कारण वहां पे कारोबार भी बढ़ेगा। तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर करने के लिए पोर्ट का एक बहुत बड़ा अहम महत्व होगा। इसके लिए भी निजी क्षेत्र के लोगों ने भी जो उसमें योगदान दिया है उसको भी याद रखना चाहिए।
Our Honorable Finance Minister has said in her budget speech, at page 13 of her budget speech, paragraph 64, major ports will be moving from managing their operational service on their own to a model where a private partner will manage it for them. Therefore, sir, the apprehension of the Standing Committee is writ large in the budget speech of the Honorable Finance Minister. Therefore, on behalf of All India Trinamool Congress, I strongly oppose this bill.
New birth and monetization mechanism work is taken off in Paradip, 3,500 crores rupees. That was the plan and program that should be completed in December, but that was not completed till December. Further it's going on and going on.
Without having any workers' representation in the authority, the workers will not get justice, sir, for implementation of minimum wages and ESI, PF, and all the that are already violating by the major port trusts, sir, in the country.
This bill was introduced with the ideas of bringing in PPPs, which is again, from our point of view, on the core operational issues, it is going to be very supportive.
क्या माननीय मंत्री जी स्टेट एक्सचेकर से पैसा लगा के डेवलप करके इनको तैयार कर रहे हैं कि कुछ नए ग्राहक मिले उनको बेच दिया जाए? मंशा तो यही है। लॉ इज नेवर अवे फ्रॉम कॉमन सेंस। कॉमन सेंस यही कहता है कि आपका जो काम करने का तरीका है वो यही है। सारी जन संपदा को धीरे धीरे बेचने का काम ये गवर्नमेंट कर रही है।
ये जो कमेटी बनाई जाएगी पोर्ट पर, उसमें एक एक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव उस स्टेट का होना है जहां ये मेजर पोर्ट हैं। लेकिन मेरा अनुरोध होगा कि वो ऐसे स्टेट्स जो लैंड लॉक्ड हैं, जिनका एक्सेस पोर्ट पर नहीं है, उनको भी इस बोर्ड में उनका भी रिप्रेजेंटेशन होना चाहिए।
I would like to register my strong opposition to this bill. The proposed Major Port Authorities Bill 2020 is nothing but an attempt to convert the ports into corporate entities. It will make them an easy target of acquisition by corporates or multinational companies at throwaway prices, including its huge lands and other assets.
Ironically, what I find in all establishment, Honorable Minister, sir, why do you not look at the possibility of representative of labor unions?
However, it seems, as per Clause 2 and 3, Section 22, Clause 2, Section 25, and Section 26, it takes away the involvement of the state government in the creation of the master plan.
Instead of developing private airports, the central government has to take it by giving the appropriate powers to the state government also, by considering the Section 22, 23, and 25, and educating board also to be given priority to the state government.
By privatizing the ports, the employment opportunities of OBCs, SC/STs, and even general employees will be grossly affected. This fear has already caused a discontent against the legislation among the employees of the ports.
You ask the workers of the BMS, in the heart of hearts, they will feel annoyed by this bill. Sir, the workers, their blood, their sweat, that are the ports.
ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट जो है डिफाइंड है, उसको जो है यहाँ एग्जम्पशन पर डाला जाए और यहाँ के हाउस के मेंबर्स को मौका दिया जाए बोर्ड पे बनने के लिए।
Rajya Sabha also began general discussion on the Union Budget 2021-22. The House has allotted 10 hours for the discussion. Normally, discussion on the budget is taken up first in the Lok Sabha, but the discussion began in the Upper House first, only the 6th time today. Earlier, discussion on the budget commenced first in the Upper House in the year 1955, 1959, 1963, 1965 and 2002. Initiating the discussion Kapil Sibal of the Congress questioned the government's disinvestment plans. BJP's Sushil Modi said that this year's budget has lived up to the expectations in terms of allocation, expenditure and reforms. Listen in.
Corporate profits, NDA 0.7%, UPA 1 2.7%, UPA 2 2.1%, BJP 1.4%. तो मैं आपसे सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं, अगर ये आंकड़े हैं कोविड से पहले, तो कोविड के बाद हिंदुस्तान की जनता की क्या हालत होगी? क्या वो कभी आत्मनिर्भर बन सकता है? This only shows that for the last 5 years you have mismanaged this economy. It only shows that in fact in every budget the twin objectives are growth and equity. Growth and equity. Some people prefer growth, others prefer growth plus equity. And I will demonstrate to you how in this budget you have only preferred growth. You have forgotten about the people of India.
Government of India will be spending 100 lakh crore in the next financial year for the development of the infrastructure, and that will be the world-class infrastructure will be developing through this National Infrastructure Pipeline. और इसको फंडिंग कैसे करेंगे? How this 100 lakh crore will come? Through creating institutional mechanism, monetizing the asset. और इसलिए मैं सौती महोदय जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए लॉन्ग टर्म लेंडिंग के लिए और भारत सरकार ने FDI DFI बनाने का ऐलान किया है. Development financial institution, the normal commercial banks, they are not capable to provide long term lending to the infrastructure projects. So we require institutions like DFI, or say Government of India has provided 20,000 crore to this DFI, और ये lending और इसका lending portfolio जो है ये 5 lakh crore होगा अगले 3 साल के अंदर.
The recent Uttarakhand tragedy and the need to prevent such disasters in future was raised in the upper house on Wednesday. BJP MP Anil Baluni highlighted the need for a mechanism to study glaciers so as to manage and prevent such hazards in the future as well.
महोदय, हाल के वर्षों में उत्तराखंड में ग्लेशियर टूटने, बादल फटने और भारी भूस्खलन की घटनाओं में वृद्धि हुई है. उत्तराखंड भूकंप संभावित क्षेत्र भी है. महोदय, मैं आपके माध्यम से भारत सरकार और विशेषकर पृथ्वी विज्ञान विभाग से अनुरोध करना चाहूँगा कि आपदा की इन परिस्थितियों पर विस्तृत अध्ययन किया जाए ताकि हिमालय और ग्लेशियरों के और नदियों के स्वभाव पर अध्ययन किया जा सके.
Moving to some other news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that sustainable development can only be achieved through collective efforts. Addressing the World Sustainable Development Summit on Wednesday, the Prime Minister said that the health of the people and the health of the planet are interlinked. He added that investment in the youth is the need of the hour.
Two things will define how the progress journey of humanity will unfold in the times to come. First is the health of our people. Second, the health of our planet. Both are interlinked. We have gathered here to talk about the health of the planet. The scale of the challenge we face is widely known, but conventional approaches cannot solve the problem we face. The need of the hour is to think out of the box, invest in our youngsters, and work towards sustainable development.
The Prime Minister said the road to fight climate change is through climate justice. He stressed that climate justice is inspired by the vision of trusteeship, adding that it can be achieved when everyone understands their individual and collective duties.
The road to fighting climate change is through climate justice. At the root of climate justice is the principle of being large-hearted. Climate justice is also about thinking of the bigger and long-term picture. The sad reality is changes in the environment and natural disasters impact the poor the most. Climate justice is inspired by a vision of trusteeship, where growth comes with greater compassion to the poorest.
The Prime Minister also mentioned that India is on track to achieve the Paris Agreement goals. He asserted that the country is committed to reduce emission intensity of GDP by 33 to 35% from its 2005 levels, adding that a drop of 24% of emission intensity has already been achieved. The Election Commission team is on a 5-day tour of Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Kerala to review poll preparations. On Wednesday, Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora and other officials met with district officials at Chennai. Led by the Chief Election Commissioner, the poll panel officials also met political party representatives in Chennai. On the 12th of February, the team will visit Puducherry to review the poll preparations there and will later arrive in Kerala on the 13th of February. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has approved the proposal for 100 crore rupees grant in aid to Brahmaputra Valley Fertilizers Corporation Limited, NAMRO. The proposal by the Department of Fertilizers will enable BVFCL NAMRO to sustain operations of its urea manufacturing units. BVFCL NAMRO is a public sector undertaking formed as per Companies Act under the administrative control of the Department of Fertilizers of the Government of India. The grant in aid of 100 crore rupees will restore the urea production capacity of 3.9 lakh metric tons per annum of BVFCL. It will ensure timely availability of urea to tea industry and farming sector in the entire northeastern region, especially the state of Assam. The aid will also ensure continuation of existing employment of about 580 employees on permanent basis and another 1,500 people on an ad hoc basis. Besides, this will also strengthen the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign of the Government of India. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has stressed on the need for providing affordable, safe and durable housing to the growing middle classes without compromising on quality. Inaugurating the Platinum Jubilee Foundation Day of Central Building Research Institute, the Vice President said that adequate air circulation and sunlight must become a norm for building plan approval. The Vice President also called for adopting latest technological advancements to provide housing for all. Vice President Naidu underscored the need for green buildings and said that they should become the new normal.
If we can provide good connectivity, employment opportunities and proper housing in villages, we can contain rural-urban migration and reduce the pressure on cities. There is a huge demand in rural areas for improved housing and amenities, and the private sector should step up to utilize this opportunity. Not to be confined to urban areas alone, the private sector must also enter the housing program in a massive way in the rural areas.
In an interview to Rajya Sabha television, leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Ghulam Nabi Azad, recounted the experience of working with Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu. Azad, who is set to retire on the 15th of February, said that Chairman Naidu epitomizes the quality of humility.
No, Chairman, he also has come from the ground. He has been MLA. He has been here Jana Shakti. He has been party president of Bharatiya Janata Party. He has been minister. He is today chairman, maybe tomorrow, and vice president. Maybe tomorrow he will be president. So he is also gradually improved over a period of time. I have seen a hell of a change taking place in him. But today I can say that I think the chairman is dealing with every political party is very judicious. And whenever he says something which is correct, he will praise you. If you do something, whether this side or that side, he will not like that. So I appreciate and I'm very thankful to what Honorable Chairman has said.
On the 100th anniversary of the opening of the Indian Parliament, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu revisited the journey of the Indian Republic. He recalled that India's first general elections were held in 1920. The Parliament in Delhi was opened by the Duke of Connaught on the 9th of February 1921. In a newspaper article, the Vice President noted that the British enacted the Government of India Act 1919 to address the mounting resentment caused over India's association with the First World War and the return of Mahatma Gandhi to India. The Act provided for direct elections to the central legislature and provincial legislative councils. The Government of India Act 1935 later provided for a federal assembly at the centre, subject to rulers of princely states joining the federation. The provincial assemblies elected a constituent assembly to draft the constitution in 1946. It was converted into a provisional parliament on the 2nd of September 1946. India became a republic with the constitution coming into force on the 26th of January 1950. And the centre on Wednesday questioned the timing of Twitter's blog post published ahead of a scheduled meeting of their representatives. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, in its response on Coup, a homegrown social networking platform, termed as unusual Twitter's move to publish the blog post before a slated round of talks with the IT secretary on the issue, as sought by the US company. The ministry said the government will share its response soon. Another man named Iqbal Singh, who was wanted in connection with the violence at the Red Fort on Republic Day, was arrested by the Delhi police from Punjab on Wednesday. Iqbal Singh, carrying a reward of 50,000 rupees, was nabbed from Hoshiarpur in Punjab on Tuesday night by Delhi police's special cell. On Monday, the special cell had arrested actor-turned-activist Deep Sidhu, a prominent player behind the violence at the Red Fort on 26th of January. Over 68 lakh beneficiaries, including healthcare and frontline workers, have been vaccinated for COVID-19 so far. On Wednesday, more than 2,15,000 beneficiaries were vaccinated across 33 states and union territories. In all, 1,42,455 vaccine sessions have been held across the country. Meanwhile, the country's COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 97.27%, with 13,087 recoveries also reported in the last 24 hours. Also, with 11,067 fresh cases in the same period, India's COVID-19 tally rose to 1 crore 8 lakh. India's active cases have dropped to 1,41,000, comprising just 1.30% of the total caseload. And before we leave, Rajya Sabha TV once again appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and also maintain physical distancing each time you step outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic, which is not over yet. Take care of yourselves and your families. Good night.